share my screen from the beginning, from later. Sure thing, sure thing. Well, I'm an engineer by training, and I've spent most of my working life in what we call high tech. I used to work for a company called ATI Technologies. If you're a Canadian gamer, you probably know who they are because we used to make all the hardware for the games or the GPUs. We were on every single console, like we did, Nintendo and Sony. We had our own graphics chips. So I spent many, many years working for them. And it came to a point that I got bored with what I was doing there. And I had met my business partner while working at ATI. We weren't business partners at the time, obviously. And we decided that we wanted to go off on our own. So we started a company that did consulting services for corporations. So we helped corporations love their software, implement systems, do business transformations. And we've been doing that for about 16, 17 years. And that side of the business is still running. And mostly my business partner runs that side. But as I was, believe it or not, attending a funeral for one of my classmates, one of my engineering classmates, which was very sad, and this was in 2017, a couple of people started talking about, hey, have you heard about the blockchain? And have you heard about Bitcoin? And I had heard about Bitcoin and slightly heard about the blockchain, but I didn't realize that it was that exciting until I started talking to them. So it got me into researching what it was, and I really realized that blockchain was really the next big step and evolution from even what we were doing with our clients in Web2, because it solved a lot of problems and issues that I had seen in technology, especially when it comes to data integrity, when it comes to transparent, being safe and transparent. So we got really excited about it, and we thought, okay, this is definitely something that we need to go into. And the original intent was to create a platform, like a gaming platform, because gaming was really the only thing that was going on blockchain at that time. And it was really a safe way to experiment with what the technology could do, especially because, if any of you have been in the corporate world, you kind of know everything works great on paper or on the PowerPoint, as we like to say. But when you start getting into it, it gets tricky. So we started thinking about what we could do in order to create, a gaming platform to experiment with, and what could it be. And I was actually, as I was doing my research, I was looking at, there was a demo that was put together by IBM, out of all people, where they were using marbles as a way to explain how you can use blockchain to do supply chain solutions. And when I saw that demo and I saw the marbles, I'm like, that's it. Marbles. Marbles is a great way that you can play games. You can put anything on a marble. It is simple. So that's where CryptoMibs came from. And we just dived right into creating it. Well, you're probably a little young, but yeah. So ATI was a yeah. So we were the only NVIDIA competitor back in the time. And actually ATI was bought up by AMD. So they still somewhat exist. Actually, my husband worked for ATI as well, and he continues to this day working for AMD because he stayed with the company. So yeah, so it was a lot of fun, a lot of fun times then. There you go. Awesome. Well, it's very easy. All you have to do is go to cryptomibs.io. So that's our website. And you can see the home page, the landing page there. And we have a little bit of everything. So we have our own NFT, which is a marble. We have 13 different kinds of standard marbles. Each of them have different, some of them are more common than others, which give you, and we use the marbles to play different games. So I'll give you a little bit. So we have a bunch of mini games, and we're all about casual gaming. We're not about the crazy AMA kind of games. We're really looking to help onboard and explain how you can do things with Web3. We're all about creating new experiences with Web3, and we're really targeting the biggest gaming market, which is the mobile casual market. So we have a bunch of different games. We have MibTrek, which is our version of Candy Crush, but with marbles. We have Mib Buster, which is like, I think that the way that I like to explain it is like Wordle, but with marbles, and it's two-player. So instead of, you getting, a word from a computer, you actually get a friend to create a string of marbles, and then you have to break it. And we have kind of tournaments playing on that. Mibjet it's like you're driving through space trying to collect marbles and avoid crates, and I can do quick demos of them. We have Snakes and Marbles, which is like a snake game, but we always put a little bit of a twist. Sky Drop is just really your Plinko game, so it's just you can drop your marbles and win prizes and more marbles. And then we have a couple of cool apps. We have Mib Factory, where you can actually create marbles using your own NFTs, and Mib Fusion, where you can actually fuse together marbles. And it's our way of burning some of our NFTs and also creating some fun adventures through gaming. So yeah, that's really all you have to do. We are actually a Web3 optional game. So if you wanted to play a game, you can just jump in and play. So I'm going to just give you a quick show here. For example, here's Snakes and Marbles. And
do you need a marble to be able to play, or are you saying there's
not initially. It helps if you have a marble. So if you don't have, so one of the things that we do, if you have a marble, it actually gives you lives. So every marble that you own will give you a recurring life in all of our games. And up to 5 marbles. So you can get up to 5 recurring lives. If you don't have any marbles, we still give you 1 life to try things out. That it'll, once you use it, it only regenerates every 24 hours, which would be a little bit annoying. So hopefully it would encourage people to go and buy a marble. But where everything is, you can get to try and you can play without having to spend any money, right? And so this is like a quick example of some of the games. So it's a little loud. I'm gonna die here because I didn't get my cursor ready in time. Oh, there you go. I think this is just like a fun little game, and we have 10 different levels that you can play. Midjet is kind of like this.
Yeah, that looked really cool. It looked like there was a nice spin on the traditional like snake style game, and I imagine it gets very intense the further you go.
Yeah, and what we do is so depending on the marbles that you own, different things happen. So see, here's a marble that I own, my fancy marble. So they actually show up in the games. And that's really how we're trying to incorporate Web3 into the casual games, right? So depending on what you own, it gives you boosters inside the game, right? And just to give you so for example, how we like to work with other, our big thing is trying to bring communities together, and we're really big on the interoperability stuff. And we're trying to find ways to make, get communities to come on one platform, regardless of where you created your NFT, and trying to bring everybody together. So as an example here, let me find it. So we have for example, in front of our arcade, we have what we call the MIPS playground, and this is where we try to bring communities together. So we had, for example, a tournament with the Polygon 8, who are they're one of our partners, and we take that game, but if you can only access this version of the game if you own a pack marble, but we also put the pack marble as a booster inside the game, right? So you can play, and let's see, hopefully it might show up here. But you'll actually be able to see the pack marble showing up inside the game, and it'll give you a booster. I can't remember what it does. This one here collects all the marbles that you own, so it gives you 10 extra, because with this particular account, I own 10 marbles. And they don't even, not all of them have to be minted, right? So there's some scenarios where we're asking, we'll require that the marble be minted. Like, for example, a pack marble has to be minted because you have to own a pack NFT in order to get a pack marble. For example, the chest that said how many marbles you own, even if they're not minted yet, because we have what we call the for fun marbles, it'll still give you some benefit. And this is part of how we're trying to, make it easier to bridge the Web 2 and Web 3 idea. And I'm not saying that pack marble's not showing up yet, but it does show up eventually. So maybe as we keep talking, it might show up.
Yeah, this is so cool. So, you mentioned that you don't need a marble to start playing. So I'm wondering, I also see the tickets there in the top right.
Yep.
I guess my next questions are related to how do people acquire marbles, and like what are all of the benefits of having ownership of the marbles, I guess.
So there's a couple of ways you can earn marbles. So for example, in some games, when we encourage people to sign up the first time, or we're trying to get people to sign up, we will give you a free marble. So for example, if you play, if you create an account and you play the first level of the first few levels of MIP Trek, which is our Candy Crush game, you get a free marble. And then usually when we play tournaments and stuff like that, we're also oftentimes are giving out marbles, and we do like these kind of drops and provide promo codes for when we're trying to for different events and things like that. So that's one way that you can earn marbles. The other way is just simply to go to our store and buy them. I mean, they're not really expensive. We have a marketplace, so let me show you here. So this is our marketplace. So that you can see it better. And you can search by all kinds of stuff. So so if you wanted to buy a new marble, for example, and say I wanted to buy an alabaster marble, I can do a search, and all of the different types of alabaster marbles that are available show up, and these marbles are $4.25, and you can actually buy them either with PayPal, so which is then it's an unminted marble. You can put them on Polygon or on Ethereum. And if you were to buy it, let me see if I can buy this one to show you. This is our test environment, so I'm not actually buying anything. Give me 1 second. Sorry, it's gonna take too long. I don't remember the password.
So did you say it would be unminted if I bought it with PayPal? So would that imply that I could like mint it?
Yeah, then you can mint it later.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so these are the marbles that I own, for example. So anything purple has been minted on Polygon, anything blue has been minted on Ethereum, anything green is not minted. So then if I click on an unminted marble, I can say mint, and they'll give me the option on which, and I'm not on the right network, but you can mint it, and then you can go ahead and mint it. And again, it's a way to help onboard people who are Web 2, so that if they're not ready or they are, cautious, that's a way to help them on board. And also it's a way to avoid having to spend your crypto on the purchase. So what I find most people do is that they'll buy the marble, with their PayPal, and then they'll just mint with their wallet, and then they're not spending a lot of crypto.
Now, you mentioned too that you have a partnership with the sorry, I forget the Ape Club NFTs. Sorry, I forget what they're called. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, the Polygon Ape. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you also have like several other partnerships, including Unstoppable Domains. I'm wondering if
Yeah,
you could touch on
yeah.
like the
So we
significance of all these partnerships.
Yeah, no, and we've been really reaching out, and we have a couple of other partnerships in the works. But yeah, so we're very excited to partner with Unstoppable Domains. And actually, if you go on, you can actually log in and sign up with Unstoppable Domains if you want. We just had a tournament with them, so that was exciting. We created actually a specific version of MidTrek. It's already completed, so we already have like our winners. Um, but yeah, so what we've been able to do is that you can actually come to our if you own an unstoppable domain, not only can you log in using your unstoppable domain onto our platform, you can also create unstoppable domain marbles. For example, this account I have, this is my unstoppable domain, and I can create a marble with it. Well, I was going to, except that when I try, I've already created it elsewhere, so with another account, so it won't let me. But because we have that, checkpoint that you have to be, there can only be one of, and we try to respect the fact that NFTs are unique. And I created this NFT elsewhere, but but once you create this marble, then then we can provide you with either specific access to things, rewards, and we can do special events for the Unstoppable Domains community. Yeah, and we're looking to get more involved with them as well. We're actually in the process of just doing paperwork, as I'll be working with the Unstoppable Women of Web3. And I'm also Latina, so we're going to be working with trying to onboard 5 million Latinas onto Web3. So that's I'm excited about that project. But we have a couple of other partnerships that we'll be announcing soon. One of them is with a wallet provider. One of the things that we're finding, again, trying to bring Web2 into Web3. We've been getting a lot of requests lately, actually, from corporations and more corporate type of requests in order to gamify loyalty programs using NFTs. And again, they're like marbles because you can brand a marble with anything. Um, but the one thing that has been a little bit of a problem is that most corporations don't want, or it's very, with all the friction with getting MetaMask, getting crypto, and all that kind of stuff, it becomes difficult. So you do have to look at a custodial wallet solution. So we're in the process of partnership to partner with one of these providers, which hopefully we'll announce sooner. We're very excited about that because I think that will open up a lot of doors as well. And we are partnering with a couple of companies actually who are blockchain, I guess you would call it developer type companies. Also to provide some NFT solutions that are more they're outside of gaming, where we're providing the gamification through the NFT, but the application is actually not in gaming. So that's very exciting.
Awesome. I think there's so many things that you're doing here that are like just truly incredible. Like for one, you've made like a very robust Web3 gaming and like entertainment platform for both, gamers and collectors, but like you opened up the doors for Web2 people too. Like even though it's a Web3 platform, it's still totally acceptable or accessible for Web2 people, which is like
Yep.
phenomenal, like for onboarding and just user experience in general. And then uh, yeah, in regards to all these partnerships, I was curious. Like, I recognize so many of these names, like Beluga Bay, Polygoons. They're an OG collection. Bots of Cog, Elegant Elephant Society. I recognize basically all of them, honestly. I'm
Yep. Yep.
curious. Like, what's the process for partnering with new NFTs? Like, say hypothetically, I'm someone with my own NFT collection. Like, do you have like a specific criteria that people have to meet?
Yeah, so I mean, we used to be fairly open, and it's these are part of the learnings, right, in Web3, right? So yeah, we do require if you have your, depending whether you have your own contract or where you are, there's a little bit of dev work on our end, for example, to add you to Mib Factory. So there has to, if we're going to have an event, there's a minimum criteria of number of players, and a little bit of effort on other side, on both sides. But we're fairly open to activities and partnerships. All you have to do is reach out, and we can always talk.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's so cool for your platform, just the overall interoperability aspect, being able to like really provide a lot of value to every single project that you partner with.
Yeah, and that's really our goal, right? Because we understand there's a lot of projects out there in communities, right? That either you're artists or your goal may be something else, right? You may be a community of people that are protecting wildlife, or I don't know, like it could be different types of communities who want to have an NFT collection, provide loyalty points as a way, to collect funds, or like a way to bring awareness. But the technical side of Web3 is quite complex. So what we are looking to do is be able to help all those communities provide a service where, we can take the tech away, we can deal with the tech, come into our platform, and then you can actually provide, the benefit of having your NFT and not have to worry about that. And I know there's a lot of projects that are, they think in the short term they can handle the tech. I do believe they'll find out. We've been doing this for 4 years now. It's never a dull moment. There's always something that happens, things that you have to keep up with. I mean, even just with the merge, right? You know, um, Technically the merge for Ethereum wasn't supposed to affect anything, but we were, for example, we had all our test contracts and stuff were Rinkeby because we started way back, which was the original Ethereum testnet, one of the original Ethereum's testnets. It got canned as part of the merge, so now we had to move over to Goerli, which is another testnet. Which is not a big deal. It wasn't like a huge amount of work, but it is work, right? Because you have to redo things, you have to retest things. So there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background when it comes to maintaining technology, Web2, Web3 wallets, and all that kind of stuff. And I think so. We have the expertise and the knowledge to do that, and that's really what we're trying to become, is a way to help bring Web3 to the masses by taking away the technology.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things that blew me away when I was looking into this project. Like, I've messed around with building my own Web3 websites, NFT projects. This is like leagues apart from most NFT projects. There is so much stuff happening on the back end with CryptoMibs. So, yeah, I thought that was super cool. So this is the forger right here that we're looking at, correct?
Yep.
I was wondering if we could touch on how the fusion works as well. You mentioned that was one of the main ways that, like, I guess NFTs get burnt out of circulation, or
Yeah, so we have Fusion. So Fusion, it was part of we created as part of our Mib Trek game. Because even though it's just a Candy Crush game, but it's a search, it's a scavenger hunt. Where as you progress through the game, you collect marbles. They're supposed to fuse them into crystals, and then the crystals give you the clues for the private key for 3 wallets that are out there. They have 1 ether each. So that's why we created Fusion initially, as specifically for the Mid-Trek game. It has potential. I think we're going to expand it, but right now it only works obviously with marbles. And we have 3 different types. You can do a prime marble where you just fuse 2 marbles together. You also have the crystals require 3 marbles. They require what we call a catalyst marble as well. Let's see. I don't know if I have enough here to do a crystal. Let me try crystal. So if I pick, let me see. Let me try this one. Yeah. So I have so here I picked my what we call a prime marble. So this marble has already been fused once. That's why you see the little lines. This marble here, or the blue marble, that's our catalyst marble that you can only win as part of the game. So you can't buy these, and we only give them out on very specific occasions. And then I can pick any of these other marbles to create a crystal. So I just don't know if I have one available. I do. So as part of the game, it tells me which crystals I have to collect. This one is like a black color crystal. So I say it to match. And then it would create this crystal and all these marbles would go away. So that's part of it. I'm gonna actually do one with a prime marble because it's nicer to watch. So I don't know. I have a whole bunch of. So this is what we call our carpet ball marble. So I'm gonna fuse this marble here, and I'm gonna pick this one. You can do a preview, and so it kind of fuses it together, and it comes up with a new marble design. But if you don't like it, you can actually put your own spin on it, and you can change colors. Like, for example, I don't like this color here. It's too green. Maybe I'm going to go like this and make it more red, maybe brighter red. Maybe this needs to be more blue, right? And as you change it, it'll charge you tickets. So tickets are in-game currency that you earn as you beat different levels in all the different games. So all our games are connected, and the tickets that you earn in every game, they all pile into one total so that you can continue to earn tickets. You can also buy them, but you can also earn them. So the modifications that I made will cost me 264 tickets. I'm happy with it, so I'm going to fuse it. It tells me, you sure you want to fuse? And in this case, I'm fusing 2 unminted marbles, and then I can mint it after, the result later if I want. You can also fuse minted marbles. You have to always mint like for like. So patterns of the marbles at this time have to match, and you have to be on the same chain. So you can only fuse Polygon marbles together or Ethereum marbles together or for fun marbles together. You can't mix them up. So I'm going to say yes. I'm going to fuse it, and then my marble has been fused. So it's ID 2547. So the one marble will be gone. And if I look at my marbles here, hold on, this was a carpet ball. Let me find it. Pattern, carpet ball. And there it is. Here's my marble. And it shows that now it is classified as a prime marble. So we have different metadata for the marbles, and all this metadata we use in games and stuff like that.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so the idea is that we're going to start using Fusion for other things, right? Where you can fuse different types of even NFTs together. The other application is, if you have a base marble, like say you have a dog and you want to put a hat on it, or add all the different accessories, you can fuse the accessories onto that NFT. So there's lots of applications for this. We just really haven't gone out and done more with it, but it's the basics are already there. It's just it's on our roadmap of the many things that we're planning to do.
Yeah, you guys really took marbles to the next level. It's really awesome to see. I want to talk a bit more about how like the whole economy works, I suppose, because we did mention that this is a really cool platform for collectors as well. So you mentioned the ticket system. I know a lot of like gaming platforms, they'll have like a play to earn token. So you don't have a token, do you? You have this ticket system which can be used to there's a reward store for the tickets as well, correct?
Yeah, so we have a reward store, and here I have to show you on a different environment because the test environment doesn't have it. Let me go to prod. So here's just showing you here how you can log in with Unstoppable Domains. This is actually the Dapper wallet. Since it's been around for so long, most of our original users are all CryptoKitty users, and so we had the Dapper wallet. We're actually grandfathering it right now, but we still support it. So let me show you. So yeah, in our marketplace, you can go. So we have what we call our pawn shop. So you can actually trade your tickets, or your NFTs, and especially, and I think this is going to happen also on Polygon. But when we were originally on Ethereum, what had happened was, and and people couldn't access crypto at the time. It was a lot more difficult than it is now. Many people couldn't even get into the ecosystem because they couldn't get their hands on an NFT. So you had at the time a bazillion people, breeding crypto kitties, and you had thousands and thousands of these cats that were, and they really weren't worth much. So we would give people the ability to trade in their crypto kitty for tickets, so that you could do stuff on our platform with the tickets. And then we would post that cat on a reward store so that somebody else who couldn't access crypto, they could earn tickets by, grinding a little bit on our platform, but then they could actually get their hands on a cat. So we still have the reward store. So as you see, we have assets from our partners, Pack, Polygons. We still have some crypto kitties around. My Crypto Heroes, which was also one of the original games that we work with on Ethereum, and they've also migrated to Polygon. So you can actually, click and purchase. Sorry, I'm not on the right network here. So you can use your tickets to purchase these NFTs. But the only thing that we've been finding is that because we have well, right now we have the MibTrek app on the App Store and on iOS. And unfortunately, by being in the big stores, you're always susceptible to hacking. So there's people who are constantly trying to break your app, and you can only keep up with it for so long. What we've been finding is that hackers actually tap into the tickets, and we've had a couple of instances where they'll hack the tickets, and then they can go and grab all the NFTs, right? Which is a problem. So they'll hack the app to get extra tickets, and then they'll hack the NFTs. So for that reason, we're actually moving forward where we are implementing a token. So we're still going to keep the tickets to help with the Web2 onboarding, but we're going to switch the reward store, for example, to it'll only be functional with our new token, and you'd be able to redeem tickets for tokens and that kind of stuff. So we're starting to create a more tokenized economy. And so we're working actually on the final details of the white paper for that. The tokens will also be used to onboard projects onto our platform. Because even though right now we're based on marbles, we're actually relaunching our store, our marketplace, so that it won't necessarily have to be just marbles. If you wanted to have a game for your ecosystem, right now we force people to become a marble to play the game. You're going to have the option to just be able to add, for us to be able to deliver a game with just checking ownership of NFTs, to make it also a little bit easier and a little bit, for specific groups. So as we do that, we're going to implement, so the tokens that we are implementing can be used towards, getting you access to games. If you want specific features, for example, you'd be able to put it, it'll be sort of like a governance token, but not in the same way as a DAO. I have my reservations about DAOs at the moment, but the community will be able to request a specific functionality, a specific improvement, and with sufficient tokens behind it. So you'd have to actually use it as, I'm going to, here's, it's going to cost X amount of tokens to implement this. And if you can collect all those tokens, then we'll build it. So that's part of the plan. And the other thing we're toying about, but we haven't finalized yet, is whether we're going to make the marbles themselves as act also as part of the economy, where you'd be able to purchase and trade directly with your marbles.
That's so cool. I'm really intrigued by the thing you said about the tickets and tokens, because initially I was thinking there was probably some advantages by not having a token, maybe like economical or legal advantages. But yeah, it never occurred to me that having a token would be like a good way to prevent malicious actors from like inflating the supply, because that is like a really common issue with all video games, that hackers will just start, like Grand Theft Auto 5 is a really good example. Hackers would just drop money on everybody, and then you know,
Yeah. Oh,
breaks
and
the economy.
it's so hard to keep up with it, right? And especially when you're a small team, it's just it's really distracting. Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool about this reward store and future games, like being able to sign in using whitelisted NFTs. I think you guys as a platform provide a lot of value to any project that you partner up with. So yeah, it's really great to see. I want to encourage everybody. Make sure you're tuning into the screen share if you're not already, because it's been really phenomenal so far. Also, if you have any questions for Jasper, make sure to drop them in the text channel so I can read them out to her. Um, and yeah, Jasper, I definitely got some more questions for you myself.
Go for it.
One thing, I'm curious about the name CryptoMibs. How did you come up with that?
Well, when we decided to go down the marble path, I personally didn't know anything about marble, so we just started doing a whole bunch of research. And actually, you know, way in the 60s. So marbles have been around for a long time. People actually collect them. There's a whole classification for marbles, and our marbles are actually all based on the real thing in real life. So fancy swirls exist as a classification. You can actually go out and buy a glass fancy swirl. You can buy, like this marble here, that kind of looks like a little bit of a chocolate swirl. That's a gooseberry marble, and they actually exist. And there's definitions about, they have to have equal, you know, um, layers of different colors with it, each stripe being about the same, same length. So we try to build, the artwork to kind of represent what the real thing looks like. So, and then there's all this terminology around marbles, and MIBS is actually a term. It means marble in play. So we just thought, then throwing at the time everything was crypto something. So we thought CryptoMibs was a great way to name the project, and it's just kind of stuck. Now we're unfortunately with some of the bad press and the scams and stuff, crypto has a little bit of a negative connotation, but I've gone back and forth on that, and I really think that we just, instead of changing it, we are going to focus on trying to bring back the credibility to the ecosystem, because crypto is good. We just have to make sure that everybody knows about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you there. I think there's a lot of unnecessary skepticism surrounding crypto and NFTs just because of I don't know, kind of like pumpy dumpy projects, um, stuff that doesn't really provide value. But I
Yeah.
think as time goes on, we're going to see more and more of these projects that provide immense value, and that'll alleviate all the skepticism. So, um, cool. I'm wondering, like, what are you most excited about for CryptoMibs? Like, in regards to your like long term goals and like what you envision for the platform, like what makes you most excited?
Well, I really think that CryptoMibs over time will become a space, and this has always been the vision from the beginning, right? A space where through gaming we can actually enable, small projects, small companies to develop their platform and actually make a living. Maybe not make a living, but be able to, have a little bit of revenue and a little bit of profit out of their activities. Because when we started this, that was really what I was passionate about and still are, is that blockchain technology is supposed to change and disrupt technologies. It's supposed to bring, you know uh, it's supposed to take and redisperse, income into the hands of more and not in the hands of few. And that's ultimately still what we're trying to achieve. So, like for example, we still have our program where you can we have the designer marble program where our any artist can come and post their own marble designs on our marketplace, and we profit share through smart contracts. So we want to be able to help artists that way. We want to be able to help, you know, different groups and societies, to gamify whatever it is that they're trying to achieve and to help them achieve their goals. And that's really what we're hoping to do. So, we'll have lots, and we're hoping to be able to provide a whole bunch of different games. And we do want to be a big aggregator of casual games so that we can be a more centralized place where people can come, try different things, and provide value to their communities. We want, and the longer term vision too is that the one step that we're still missing is being able then to link it back to the real world, right? So for example, in our reward store, what we want to be able to do next is be able to say, okay, so if you have, maybe you have a way to purchase, take dinner out for four at a fancy restaurant, through your NFT. You can buy different types of rewards that then will link you back to the real world. Maybe if you collect 16 different marble crystals, you can go to I don't know, Pandora and get a charm of some sort, right? Those are the kind of things and partnerships that we're hoping will happen over the long term, where you can take a simple game of marbles, show people how Web3 is really, it can be safe and fun, and it doesn't have to be complicated, and look at all the things that you can do to help build your own communities, and maybe just reward yourself with a little bit of fun by playing games.
Phenomenal. Frankie is stating ESPN was showing marble racing during the height of COVID, and we really liked watching it at work. Do you have any marble races or plans to introduce them?
Yeah, there's plans to introduce them. The issue with marble races is that they're considered gambling. So we are a legal corporation in Canada, and we currently don't have a gambling license. We have a partner that we're working with. So once those plans, we're hoping to finalize those plans by Q1 next year, and then we'll be able to create and add games of chance, right? So the marble races, all that kind of stuff, they're games of chance and they're considered gambling. So you have to tiptoe around that. Right now, all of our games require skill, and that's how we can get around it. But it's in the works.
Sweet. I feel like there's so many things within crypto gaming that's kind of gambling related, and yeah, I don't know. That's like a
There's a
really
lot,
iffy gray
right?
area. Yeah.
Well, I just think that people just, most projects are small, so they can get away with it, or they're not running out of, they're running out of different places, so that, there's different rules everywhere. But we've always been big about being transparent, being legit. So we have to work within, the rules of where we are. But there's a lot of, I mean, that's part of the reason why we hadn't launched a token up until now, or we haven't planned to launch a token because of all the issues around security commissions. Is it security? What are going to be the implications? And I do believe there's a rude awakening coming to many projects. I mean, we're already seeing it. I mean, they're going after the big projects, but I do think that over time it will impact smaller projects as well. So we've always just taken the cautionary path, and now that we understand better, I think we're feeling comfortable that we can move into that space without having to worry about legal implications.
Yeah, most definitely. I always think it's best to play things better safe than sorry. Frankie has another question.
Sure.
They're wondering, is there a possibility of passive income from utilizing CryptoMibs?
Yeah, I mean, and it's so as you play different games, especially for things like Mib track, where as people are trying to complete all their crystal missions, you can actually, well, sorry, so I guess let me clarify. Just, you mean by staking and stuff like that? Is that what you mean? Right now, no, when it comes to staking, because again, that's a very tricky legal area when it comes to tokenomics. You can certainly earn by trading, getting marbles and rare marbles and trading them and that kind of stuff. But that I wouldn't say that's passive income. You're actually doing stuff. So not at this time.
While we're on this topic of like how you operate and legality, I'm curious if we could get your views on DAOs.
Well, I mean, I agree in philosophically about DAOs, right? That yes, it there's certain things where DAOs are very useful. I just think that the use cases for DAO are very, very narrow, right? Because and to me, a more effective way of running a DAO or executing a DAO is just having small numbers of smart contracts that execute specific things correctly, as opposed to trying to have something that has all this governing power. I just think there's so many use cases to consider, right? And so many things with a technology that once you deploy, you cannot change it. How are you going to keep up with change, right? So that's why I don't necessarily think that a DAO should never happen. I just think that in order to properly implement a DAO, there's so much work that has to go into it. And you have to think of so many different use cases. And I still think the likelihood of something going wrong is very high. I just think there's better ways to do, to get some community engagement, community say, and participation in a transparent way without going all the way for a DAO. And there's certain things that shouldn't be a DAO, period. I think people are putting DAOs on so many things that I'm like, that shouldn't be a DAO.
Yeah, I think I got what you're saying. Like, there's trade-offs and pros and cons with everything, and I guess like, would it be fair to say for what you're doing with CryptoMibs, like it's more effective to just not have a DAO at all?
Yeah, I really, well, I don't understand. Yeah, like I don't see. So I'm a little bit on the outside, but of what most people think. But I don't think software development is a democracy, for example, right? Um, so that's part of the reason why I'll never invest in Tezos, right? Like I don't think you can develop software by having everybody be able to participate in it, just because you require very specific knowledge to do specific things, right? So unless you're going to get into, okay, so these type of decisions can only be made by these types of people with these type of knowledge or credentials, over time, your ecosystem is just going to degrade, right? And then people have different um, people have different things that drive them, right? So if you can take your token and give it to somebody else as a proxy, um, how do you validate that now that person has the same credentials, knowledge required for that specific task, right? So that's where I think DAOs fail. I think you can definitely have, you know, governance tokens. For example, a community like, if you wanted new functionality, you can certainly give your community, like we're trying to do with our token, the ability to say, okay, we want this, and here's the tokens implemented. I think that's good. But how things are implemented and other things like that, that is not something that the general community, should be able to decide on. And I think that's part of the reason why, Ethereum is still not a DAO, why Polygon is not fully decentralized, right? Because there's so many things that need to happen, and sometimes they have to happen fast, right? So not a DAO is not for everything. So
Yeah,
I think there's narrow specific use cases where, and I wouldn't even call it a DAO, where I think a smart contract or a couple of smart contracts can become very effective in ensuring that what you agreed upon is delivered. To me, that's moving beyond that, I think it gets very tricky.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with tons of what you're saying. And, I think there's a lot of projects that are DAOs in name only. And yeah, definitely like there's a lot of projects that
Oh, there's
the
too much
develop.
marketing going on around
Yeah.
that. I mean, that's the hot word of the day. So I just laugh because yeah, there's no way.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, there's so many projects that just call themselves a DAO and there's nothing that's DAOish about them. And then, like, I don't know. I feel like with a lot of projects too, it definitely does make sense to just remain centralized throughout the entire development process, and just so you can like quickly roll things out and then decide if you want to decentralize it at a later date or something. um
Yeah, and there's things that over time you can decentralize for sure, and that is our goal as well, right? Like over time, as things stabilize and stuff, you decentralize stuff, but um, we're not there yet.
yeah. I want to get back on topic, back to CryptoMibs. So we're just talking about the whole ecosystem and economy. One thing I was curious about is like you guys do have your own marketplace for trading these. Would that be like the primary marketplace, or do people like also trade these on OpenSea or other NFT platforms?
Yeah, so I mean, we purposely don't, we never use the OpenSea, uh, contracts or anything like that, but you can definitely, I mean, you can definitely do secondary on OpenSea and in other markets, but the primary purchases are all done on our platform. And you can trade them, and we have that, I believe we have better functionality than OpenSea, at least for our marbles, because you can put, because we can, you can put your marbles for sale on either Ethereum or tickets or um, or Matic. You can actually buy and sell your marbles for tickets as well, and you have lots of ways to sort. So that's to me that's it's easier to be done here on the platform, and there's no fees like when you use tickets and in-game currency, there's no fees.
Cool. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like a custom tailored marketplace to your
Yeah.
specific project. Yeah, awesome. Okay, I do want to make sure that we talk about everything that you want to cover today. So, like, is there anything that we haven't already touched on that you would like to?
No, I mean we're always looking for exciting partnerships and projects. So if anybody's interested, do reach out. And yeah, I guess one of the things we're sort of on an announcements point, we're about to launch the mobile version of Mythbuster, which is the uh, our Wordle type game, so that you'll be able to play it on the Google Store, or be able to play it on your phones easily. So that's coming up soon, and yeah, and just stay tuned for some of the partnerships and stuff that we'll be announcing over the next month.
Awesome. And what are the best ways for people to connect with you and get involved with CryptoMibs?
So you can go on our website, cryptomibs.io, and all of our social media stuff is there. To be honest, the best way to get in touch with me these days is emailing me, jasper@cryptomibs.io. I'm actually spending a lot less time on Twitter than I was before, and so I don't see it as often, and my DMs don't always. I can't always keep up with my DMs. I do check our Discord as well. So if you're on, so you can join our Discord from our social media. Um, and so if you follow us on, so all the links are here at the bottom of our page. So if you join our Discord, I definitely check the Discord and answer the Discord on a daily basis. But I would say email or Discord. So one of those two ways are easiest, and you can actually send an email to me directly from our website.
Perfect. Well, this has definitely been a phenomenal AMA, one of my favorites so far, and I would definitely love to do another one with you sometime in the future to catch up with like everything new related to CryptoMibs. Perhaps
Or
early
once
next
we
year.
launch once we launch our token, maybe that would be a good way to follow up.
Perfect, perfect. Yeah, that would be definitely a good time to catch up and touch base for sure. Um And yeah, this has been tons of fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in today, asking great questions. And yeah, thanks again, Jasper, for doing this. Really appreciate
Oh,
having
thank you.
you.
I mean, thank you so much for having me. This is obviously we all love to talk about ourselves, so I always love the opportunity to talk about CryptoMibs. But no, I mean, I'm a big fan of the Polygon community, so I really appreciate it. And yeah, it's been fun. So thank you.
Likewise, feeling is mutual. All right. Bye, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks again.